Alright, hey guys, I am back finally, hopefully permanently. I am in an incredibly stressful time currently in my school career, and I am so busy and overworked, and I'm procrastinating right now to film this video, but I wanted to finally do something. I have committed to doing this readathon that I really want to do, but it's going to be really hard because I have 7 days, and I'm going to explain it all to you right now. So basically, this is the hashtag genreathon. It is a readathon created by my friends Dylan and Sarah, and I'll leave all their links down below. Sarah has a booktube channel, but Dylan does not. He basically lives off Instagram for his bookish needs, and I'll just leave all their info down below. They're great people, and you guys should definitely participate in the readathon. It is from October the 21st, so by the time this goes up, tomorrow, and then it goes until the 28th, so a couple of days before Halloween. And basically there are 4 challenges. The first one is to read an urban fantasy. Second one is to read a fantasy that you've been dying to read. And the third one is to read a fantasy that someone has recommended to you, and then the final one is just to read 3 books. And obviously it's called the genreathon because it's based on a genre, and if you can't infer already by the challenges, the genre for this time is fantasy, which is amazing because I adore fantasy, but absolutely terrible because fantasy books are so long and I have stuff to do. But I'm just going to get into the books that I'm going to read and stop rambling. The first challenge is to read an urban fantasy book, and for this one I'm going to consider this book an urban fantasy book, and it is Zeros by Scott Westerfeld with Margot Lanigan and Deborah Biancotti. I hope that's Biancotti, I can't tell. But this is about these teenagers from California. I think there's 6 of them, and they can do stuff that regular people can't. So they basically have powers. It kind of reminded me of The Darkest Minds when I kind of read about it in the powers sense of things. I actually didn't post the video about it because I never got around to that, but I went to Teen Book Con in April of this year, which was just a big book festival, like Texas Teen Book Festival with a bunch of authors, and Scott Westerfeld was one of them, and he, I guess, was in the ARC stage of this book and was talking about it, and I was so interested in reading it. So when it finally came out, I bought it, but I haven't read it, and there are lots of new releases that you'll see throughout this video that I have bought but have not read because I don't have time, so I'm going to make time this week to read it, finally. And this came out in September, I think on the 22nd, but I might be incorrect on that one. And Scott Westerfeld, is always, he's never disappointed me, so I'm really excited to finally get into this one. The second challenge is to read a fantasy that you've been dying to read, and if you know anything about me, you know this one is Queen of Shadows by Sarah J. Maas. I bought this the day before it came out, so I technically pre-ordered it, but not really, and I have not read it yet. It came out on September 2nd. It's been over a month. I read Air of Fire the week after it came out. I don't know what I'm doing with my life. I still haven't read A Court of Thorns and Roses, but I did finally read The Assassin's Blade. This will get done next week regardless of whether any of the other books get done next week, because my dad's already read this book. I have not read the new Sarah J. Maas book, but my father has. Speaking of my dad, the final challenge, or final book challenge, is to read a book someone recommended to you, and my father is a huge fantasy reader just like I am, and he has been constantly recommending not only this book to me but this author, and it is Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. He actually bought this book for me, and I still haven't read it. He bought it for, this must spring of this year, so March maybe? Still haven't read it. This is probably the shortest one out of all the ones. Oh, no, it just looks shorter. This is maybe one of the longer ones out of all the ones I'm reading. Oh my god. I might start reading for this early, but I'm currently in the middle of a book that I need to finish. And the actual final challenge for this readathon is to read 3 books. So there you have it. 3 books. So yeah, this is what I'm hoping to read, and I'm very excited for this readathon. I'm really excited for Dylan and Sarah to host their first readathon together. Good luck to both of you. I'm sure you're going to do wonderfully. And yeah, that's all I have for today, but I will see you next time, and until then, keep reading.